That you saw it from that'll give us what we need.
Okay, so here is my personal story. Baruch Hashem, we have a son, my second son, Avraham Leib, and ever since he was a child, every time he would fall, this was one of many different problems, health issues we had with him, but one particular problem was that every time he would fall, he would pass out. It was very frightening to his parents, myself, to my wife. One time we rode into the Rebbe, must have been around 1994, 95, and at this point there was nowhere else to write but into the Kodesh, which of course we very strongly believe in. And we wrote a letter to the Rebbe, and the response came to be careful with bris milah, because that has an effect on the entire koima shlema on a person. And I understand there's a lot of other Rebbes where the Rebbe points out the same exact benefit or skula or strength in doing the brit milah perfectly, that it's not just a specific detail, but it's an overall, and it has an influence on the entire stature and, I guess, existence of the person. So we took this very strongly, we took it very seriously. And I always had a problem, I had in my mind an issue with his moyel. And immediately I called the moyel that we used for him 14 years early. He was already 14 years old, 13, 14 years old. And he confirmed my fears. He used a certain type of a clamp, which, as I remember it even to this day in my mind, it really very strongly clamped the skin, so that when the Brit Milah took place, not even a drop of blood came out, and the other halachic concerns that are involved with using that clamp. I immediately called one of the Rabbanim in Crown Heights. I don't remember who it was. I'm almost sure it was Rabbi Ozdaba. And he told me, yes, it's a problem, and to be on the safe side, you should do hatofes dam bris. Of course, I didn't want to delay, knowing that it's a very serious mitzvah semen haTorah every single day, over continued problems, and more than anything else, delaying the right thing for my son was going to just keeping his improvement delayed. So the next morning, I went from Palm Beach to Fort Lauderdale. It's a drive of about over an hour. And we went to the airport. I didn't have a penny to my name at that time. I gave them a check. I was hoping that by the time it would go through, I would be able to honor the check. Bottom line, as we were there in the airport, I woke up my son 4 in the morning. I told him in the airport that we were going because there was a problem and that we were going to celebrate it, that it was going to be done the right way in New York. He was very concerned and nervous and anxious, but Baruch Hashem, we came to New York from Florida. I came to Rabbi Shane, the moihel that I used for all my other sons and for my grandchildren, Baruch Hashem. And he did a hatofes dam bris. He said it was no need for anything more, but then a hatofes dam bris, just as the Rav recommended. And we went right back to Florida. And my personal story is that we never, capital N, had another health issue with that son. And there's no question in my mind that it was 100% fully attributed to following the Rebbe's directive and fulfilling the hatofes dam bris, the fulfillment of the mitzvah in the correct way, which, as the Rebbe said, had an effect on his koima shalema. That's my personal story.